Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making millions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/hidden. Protect yourself now at aura.com/hidden.
When you need to send the perfect rose bouquet, only one brand can say they've been the floral authority for 50 years. 1-800-Flowers. Why should you trust 1-800-Flowers? They hand-select every stem to ensure top quality. And with nationwide delivery, smiles and satisfaction are 100% guaranteed. And right now, when you order a dozen multicolored roses, we'll double it at no extra cost. Don't miss out on this limited-time offer. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Hey there, this is Dennis Anyone with Dennis Hensley, a podcast about making things up and making things happen. It's part 2 of our Movies of 2025 Roundup with Glenn Gaylord. He's the senior film critic from The Queer Review, and Droege, an actor, writer, and playwright, and movie lover, fresh off his turn in Messy White Gaze Off-Broadway, which we talked about in the last episode. Glenn also has a YouTube channel called Glenn Hates Everything that is really fun and blowing up. So get on board with that. But before we get to the roundup, I want to remind you that this podcast is brought to you by me, pretty much. I do it because I love it, and if you want to support it, there are some things you can do. You can go to DennisAnyone.net, and there you can leave a tip in my virtual tip jar. I always appreciate that. Help me cover my expenses. You can also subscribe to my Substack and Patreon, which is Dennis Hensley's Happy and Gay. It's the same on both platforms, and I'm finding that with my new full-time job, I post less regularly there. It's a little harder to keep up the thing, so I'm going to make every one of those free for a while, as long as I'm as busy as I am. And for the folks that have subscribed with the pay format, if you feel like making it free, you can, or you can keep it coming. I appreciate that either way. But it's still going to be really fun, and it's going to be free. So go to Patreon or Substack and get Dennis Hensley's Happy and Gay. What else is going on? You can also become a subscriber to DNR Studios. DNR Studios, you guys, they are a group of queer shows under the Derek and Romaine banner. Really fun. Learn about that at Derek. Where do you learn about that? DNRstudios.com. Also, the Mismatch game is coming up this weekend. It is Friday the 13th in Los Angeles. And there are tickets links on my Instagram, Dennis C. Hensley. If you go to the link tree on there, you can get ticket links. And I think it's pretty much not sold out. So we're doing it on a Friday, which is a little trickier. But our theme is Friday the 13th / St. Patrick's. So it's Bad Luck for the Irish edition. Who knows what that means? But I did order a green shirt. So there you go. And you can also go to LALGBTcenter.org and get tickets for that. I think that's all of the plugs. So here is part 2 of our 2025 Movies Roundup with Glenn Gaylord and Droege. Welcome back to part 2 of the 2025 movie wrap-up. We've got actor and playwright extraordinaire Droege back. Hello, Drew.
Hi, Dennis.
And we've also got Glenn Gaylord. He's a filmmaker. His movies include I Do, Leave It on the Floor, and Eating Out, All You Can Eat. He's also the senior film critic for the GLAAD-nominated The Queer Review. 3 years in a row it got nominated for GLAAD Awards. And he has his own YouTube channel called Glenn Hates Everything. So, Glenn, you didn't have that last year we did this. So what has your journey been like with Glenn Hates Everything? Are you having fun? What's it been like?
Yeah, my fan loves watching my channel.
My fan loves it. Yeah, my fan. I wonder if our fan overlaps in any way. I'm sure our fan does overlap. No, I know that's sentiment.
Are you my fan, Dennis?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you my fan?
I might. We might be each other's fan.
No, it's what I like to call in the business a slow burn.
Yeah.
It's building. And I was told by many experts, just be consistent.
Right.
And you never know when the algorithm is just going to spit you out there into 100%. The stratosphere. And it did start already. This is a tiny little channel so far. And yet my review of Song Sung Blue has gotten over 9,000 views already.
Wow.
Which is like, I'm not Jeremy Johns yet or Chris Stuckman, but, they started small too.
Right.
Did you? I'm sorry. I need to watch your review. Did you hate Song Sung Blue?
No, yeah. I didn't. It's just that my channel's called Glenn Hates Everything.
Right. I'm just curious if that was yeah. I had a lot of fun. I don't think it was good, but my God, was I cackle laughing. I mean, it really made me laugh a lot, and I don't know. I can't believe it had to be true. All the things
that
happened to her. Is this going to air before the Oscars?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make a hot take. I'm going to be wrong.
Right.
But if I'm right, you heard it here first. I think Kate Hudson's going to win the Oscar.
That's interesting. I think she's the sleeper.
What?
I'm going to cackle at that.
Because here's why. In that movie, she does everything that the Academy loves. She's maimed. She's a drug addict. She overcomes it. She sings. She has an insane accent. I mean, and she's good in the movie. She does a good job in this movie. But she's got the accent. She's a little frumpy. We identify with her. All of those elements they love.
Right.
She's also Goldie Hawn's daughter, Legacy. She's a comeback kid because of Almost Famous. She's been gone. And I feel like I will not be surprised if her name gets called on Oscar night. Also, nobody is excited about Hamnet. And I know that everyone thinks Jessie Buckley is going to win. She probably will win. She gives a very good performance in this movie. But nobody's talking about that movie. No one's going, oh my God, you've got to rush out and see Hamnet. We didn't. We just did an hour of movies. It hadn't come up on our list. It might be on your lists now. It's not on mine.
No, I wrote it down, but I'm like, are we going to talk about it? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, and so I just think there's just no passion there. Yeah. And I don't think that, I think Rose Byrne deserves it at the year, or Jason Vitti wasn't nominated, which was,
she wasn't,
which was a crime. Rose Byrne's not going to win because the movie's too weird and the Academy thinks anything weird is like not good. And they're old and wrong about a lot. So I really think I have a crazy feeling that it's going to be a surprise. And no one is saying this. I've heard no one else say this, but
no, I'd
gamble on that.
Yeah,
you're on an island, Drew.
No, but I know.
I'm fully aware.
If you were to say Jessie Buckley's not going to win, who is it going to be? I would think Kate Hudson because for all the reasons you named. There's like a sentimental part to it.
People love her. They love her, and the Academy loves to give like that reason for more than the actual watching the of anything. And she's good in the movie. She is good.
Really great in the movie. She reminds you how good she's like, you thought I was done and just selling Fabletics? No, people. Look, I gained weight.
The movie is ridiculous, but she's great.
Glenn, I know you watched the documentary that the movie was based on. So you have a connection also to the movie.
Documentary of the same name. Song Sung Blue, and is much darker, but it pretty much sticks to the same facts. There's a little loosey-goosiness around the third act and what actually happened, but it pretty much sticks to the events. But the movie is much more joyous, where the documentary is just dark, dark, dark.
Right.
I think that the moment for me in that movie that really just like went into the stratosphere is when they first get together to rehearse, and they're doing the song Cherry Cherry, and she's playing the famous piano part of that, and he's singing along, and they realize they've got a spark and that they've got something there, and then her mother interrupts, you're making too much noise out here. I just thought that was such a fantastic scene, and it just lifted me up out of my chair, because I thought they both were so infectious together to watch.
They are. They were just fun. The music, and I love Neil Diamond music, and the music is so fun. It's just wonky biopic writing with it, and the fact that cars like plague this woman's life. Like I mean, at least the movie is smart enough to laugh at it when it happens to her the second time. I was like, what is happening?
Right.
It felt like sketch comedy. Like another car is going to, what?
Yeah.
But at least the
really
movie knew it could laugh at that. And at least they have Kate Hudson's character laughing at it. Because I'm like, okay. Because I was like, you're not, that's, but, it's like all those biopics. It's going to have the wonky, like, what do you mean we're doing Crackle and Rosie? I want to do Sweet Caroline. And it's a lot of that. But, the music is really fun. And they're both like incredible singers.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'd watch that movie over Hamnet any day again.
Well, it also...
Can I say that?
Yeah, go ahead, Glenn. Oh,
I was just going to say Hamnet, we're not talking about... It's actually on my worst of the year list. That's
interesting.
I agree. I agree.
The actors did a great job. I thought that Chloe Zhao did not serve the actors well by shooting them crying, looking up their noses. Like, take a note from Train Dreams. That's what real grief looks like. This just looked like performative grief. Yet I still thought they did an amazing job. The ending made me cry. So it has merit, but yeah, it's not a film that I am going to just cherish.
For me, a movie that's about William Shakespeare to have no screenplay. Like, there was no writing. There was no language in this movie at all. It felt like it was just grunting and emoting. And the actors are great, but I also was like, nothing was connected. I didn't learn anything about them. It was almost like they were ashamed to admit that this was, because they were like Will and Agnes. They didn't even tell you anything about why. And also, how does the death of a child, and this is, the trailer is the entire movie. There's no script. The last half the movie is just you were watching Hamlet. But how does the death of your child have anything to do with Hamlet? Like, it doesn't explain that. Like, I felt it was just a fail on a massive level. I really did. And I don't, there's always a movie. I was shocked how much I was going into it, how disappointed I was. Like, cause I was sort of like thinking like, oh, this will be one of the biggest movies of the year. And I just was thoroughly underwhelmed by it.
I kept wanting to get on the train. Like, I want to get on the Chloe Zhao train and have that woo-woo thing. The ending brought it home for me, like that final sequence. There was a moment in it where I literally gasped. I was like, well,
I was doing a play at the time.
Up until then, it was me wanting to like it more, or wanting to be more
I feel like maybe because I was doing a play at the time, and if someone had been like Jessie Buckley in my audience, I would have been furious. Like, shut up and watch the play. Be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. It's not cute. It's not cute at all.
Where is Patti LuPone to shut her
Where
up?
is Patti LuPone?
Yes.
And Hamnet.
Yeah, she's going to see Messy White Gaze is where Patti LuPone is. In
fact, my prediction is at the Oscars, Patti LuPone comes out and shuts Jessie Buckley up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Brilliant.
One of the themes that I did like about Song Sung Blue is that thing of, if you're a performer or if you're an artist and you don't do your thing, it kind of like eats away at you. Even if you're not making any money or whatever, like that you could see that like, oh, they needed this part in their life just to give it meaning and joy. And I connect to that a lot, that thread of the story. That was Glenn. That was sort of yours. Did we give you an official you, or did we just launch into Sunset? All right. Drew, what's next on your list? What do you got?
Oh, next on my list. Oh, this was a film that I found. It was another film independent find that I absolutely loved. It's a film called Blue Sun Palace. I don't know if either of you have seen it.
No, I haven't even heard of it.
Oh my God. It is a gorgeous, riveting film. It's set in New York, but almost entirely in Chinese. It's all around massage parlors in Chinatown, and it is unbelievable. There's a performance, a woman named Haiping Xu, who is one of the best performances of the year. I was like, did they just find someone? I was like, she's so authentic and real, and you think you know what the movie's about, and then there are two things, I'm not going to give it away, that are so upsetting and surprising because it's a very moody, it's beautifully shot. And it makes this world so interesting. And it's a very quiet movie that has these two insanely upsetting, hyper-violent things that completely change the course of the movie. So it's like a movie where you think you're like, okay, I'm watching this indie film. Oh, it's going to be this lovely film about this. Oh, wait, what? Oh my God, what? And I was riveted, and it's a gorgeous film. And I was so happy that I had seen it.
Love it. All right. I hadn't heard of it at all. The next one I want to talk about is one that I featured on this podcast. Before We Forget, it was written and directed by Juan Pablo de Pache. And it's just this lovely movie that really moved me. I watched it on my computer before the interview, and then it showed in theaters, and I went and saw it there. And it's about like your first unrequited love in school, and it just brought back this nostalgia. Juan Pablo actually got to go to this. He's from Argentina, but he got to go to this school in Italy, and it was like the Benetton of schools. And he had a best friend, but he was in love with him, but that nothing ever really came from that. And I don't know. It brought up a lot of feelings in me. There's a scene in the middle of the movie in a car where the performances and the writing was just lovely. And I just thought it tapped into a kind of feeling that I think a lot of us had when we were younger. Did either of you see that
talented.
movie? Yeah.
I've not seen it. I need to see it. He's so talented. He's a force. I'm a big fan of his.
I know, and singing and dancing and all of it. And he was really kind and nice. Like I liked his whole thing. So, Glenn, did you happen to see that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I loved it. And everything you said, I agree with. I also want to add that there's a scene late in the film. It's when you get to sort of confront your childhood crush and what would you say?
Right.
And what he says is so surprising, and how it's such a mature scene in the sense that he says something you don't expect. Yeah. And it goes in a different direction. You know, like oftentimes you want to say something to your crush like, oh, I used to watch you walk down the hall or whatever. And he does not go there. He goes in a completely different direction that I thought was beautiful, and a great capper to a film about a guy trying to come to terms with this past that he had.
Right. You just can't shake it. Glenn, what's the next movie on your list?
All right. So you know how a lot of people complain when they make a movie, actors like, oh, I suffered from my yard. I got so many bruises. I fell down, that thing. It's like, oh, shut up. You didn't make It Was Just an Accident. You're not Jafar Panahi risking his life. This is a guy who has been imprisoned. He's been under house arrest. Right. There is actually a warrant out for him right now, and he's not living in Iran right now because of his movies and what they have to say. And he started out his career with a movie called The White Balloon, which at the time in Iranian cinema, you told allegorical films that were critical of the regime, but you never outright said it. And so that was about a little girl trying to find a gold. But now It Was Just an Accident. It's just an outright criticism of the regime. This is basically saying we are living in this theocracy where, a group of people who were tortured by somebody come upon their possible torturer. And it's, what do they do when they have him? They've kidnapped him. What do they do with him? Is he the right guy? They're going on a lot of conjecture and audio as opposed to visual, because none of them ever saw the guy. And this is a guy risking everything. I mean, this is a country that murdered 40,000 protesters a month ago. This is real high stakes, daring filmmaking. And it kills me that this wasn't a Best Picture nominee. It's under, the non-English language category, but I think this is an astounding, brave film that is really about confronting your trauma, confronting torturers, and trying to do what's right in a world where it feels impossible that you're going to make a right decision.
Yeah. I need to see it. I haven't seen it yet. Drew, have you seen that one?
I've not seen it, and it's definitely on my list. Though.
There's a bunch of foreign films I want to see before the Oscars, and that's one of them. Drew, what's next in your
next for me? I thoroughly loved this comedy that I thought just has a cast of some of your favorite people ever. And it's this romp ghost story, very gay film called The Parenting. I just thoroughly enjoyed. It is gonzo. It goes completely crazy. It felt like such a throwback to few 80s films where it's just like, there's a ghost in the house and oh my God. But you have a wonderful two leads. It's a gay couple that's going back and it's like meeting the family, but oh no, we're in a haunted house. And it's just, you've got these wonderful supporting performances of Parker Posey and Lisa Kudrow and Brian Cox. And no one can play homophobic and be so hilarious as Brian Cox, in my opinion. Yeah. You might fully disagree with me, but he was saying some of the most vile things, and it's clearly made by queer people. It's written and directed by two gay men who are both brilliant, Ken Sublette and Craig Johnson, who knew exactly what they were doing with it. And it's I was thoroughly entertained the whole time. I thought it was great.
Who are the two leads in it?
It was Brendan Flynn and Nick Dodani, who are both wonderful. They're Nick Dodani's been in a bunch of teen comedies, and Brandon is like coming up in the ranks. He's is an incredible theater actor as well.
Yeah.
But they're the leads in the movie. I mean, it's them, and then they're surrounded by, Toni Collette and just all the other
gay icons that we love.
Oh my God, I'm horrible. But Edie Falco, that's the word I'm looking for.
Right. No, please. I can't believe how little I can remember of things now. So I definitely want to check that out. I want to mention another gay movie that I had on my podcast, A Nice Indian Boy. Jonathan Groff was in it, and Karan Soni. Yes, well, right? Who's so good.
He's always so good.
Yeah, Karan Soni and Jonathan Groff. It's just a nice rom-com where the family is included in a way that's very. It's not just about the couple. I thought it was really sweet and moving, and just a warm blanket of a movie, and I love Jonathan Groff in anything.
Always.
I know.
He's master.
Did he come to your show, Messy White Gaze? Did he show up on his bike with his helmet?
Just in time. I mean, but I got to see him in Just in Time. And I mean, a revelation. And he's only in it for another month, I think.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely worth whatever hundreds of dollars you need to pay for a ticket. It's absolutely worth it. I promise you to go see him play Bobby Darin, or kind of Bobby Darin.
Right.
In a tour de force performance. I mean, it's incredible. He's amazing.
I love it. All right. Did either of you see Nice Indian Boy?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's sweet.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not funny. I thought that was really a surprisingly sweet, beautiful film.
I love it. All right, Glenn, what's next on your list?
All right, sticking to the bummers after it was just an accident. This is a film that I resisted seeing. I heard that it was just about a bunch of people dancing at a rave in the Moroccan desert. I thought, okay, I'm too old for this shit. Like, why am I going to watch that? But then I kept hearing like, oh no, that's not really what it's about. Like, just stick with it, watch it. And it's about a guy on a search for their daughter who went missing, and there's a clue that she's at the rave in the Moroccan desert, and so that rave, and then basically all hell breaks loose. The world turns upside down. Horrible, horrible, horrible things happen, one after the other. And there's this moment midway through the film that is just a gut punch, like shock. And then it just gets weirder and horrible from there on out. One critic said that they want to watch it in a theater again with people just so they can hear the crowd moan.
Wow.
And that's kind of watching it. It just makes you moan and grieve, and it's horrific. I can't say that it's probably on those movies I love that I never want to watch again, because it is really harsh. And it has a lot to say about, very much like in the Marty Supreme, one battle after another vein of just putting one foot forward, just getting through the moment in your life, because that's what this film exists in. And it's got an amazing soundtrack. It's really a great score. And I think it got a nomination for its score as well. It took me by surprise, and it's traumatizing.
There you go. I think when you said the title of the movie, it might have cut out on the Zoom. So what's the title of it?
Called Sirat.
Sirat. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's a Best Picture, best foreign film nominee I need to see.
I loved this movie too. I thought it was something I could never watch again. I thought that would maybe be on your list. I was like, oh, this is going to be in one of those batchings as well. One man, sort of this battle. Yes, I did not know. I had no idea what I was prepared for, other than I had read John Waters' it was one of his favorite movies of the year, and he kind of warned, and he loves a feel-bad movie. He literally calls them feel-bad movies, and he loves. Right. And I was like, oh, if he really, and he's, my favorite, but I don't always see eye to eye on other films that he really likes. And this was one that I fully was like, sort of prepared, like, oh, it goes really, really wrong, really, really terribly. But it's beautiful. And feels like Mad Max. I mean, felt like I was watching, this post-apocalyptic, what do we have left? Let's go for it. It's just a gonzo, singular movie. I loved.
There you go. What's next on your list?
Yes. It's been called Mad Max. Well, hang on one second. It's been called Mad Max Meets Little Miss Sunshine.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I like it. All right.
God, I wish Little Miss Sunshine had any of that grit.
Drew, what's next on your list?
Next on my list was the movie Friendship, starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd.
Right.
I'm sorry?
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. And I thought it was I thought it was absolutely delightful. I'm such a fan of Tim Robinson's. I love The Chair Company this year. I loved his sketch show. I think you should go. There's something in his humor is so angry and so stupid in the best way. Characters that are just obsessed with really tiny little details and they can't let things go. And he just his depiction of just losers who are just so obsessed with being popular and being liked and just missing and getting all of it wrong, just getting all of humanity wrong. And I just found this movie was great. It also has one of the best drug trip scenes I've ever seen. It's like you think you've seen every drug trip in every movie.
Right.
And, you haven't until you've seen this movie. And I don't even want to explain what they did, but I was like, that is genius. So I loved everything about it. It's a great screenplay as well. And it doesn't go where you think it's going to go. And Paul Rudd can do no wrong. I mean, There's nobody greater.
Love it. Glenn, I did not see that one. Did you?
I did. I loved it. In fact, it was on my list here, and I wrote down a quote from the movie that was my favorite. It's one of my favorite lines of the year, or speeches. So Tim Robinson's character is obsessed with Paul Rudd. It's like he's just in love with this guy. It's his neighbor. And they start hanging, and he thinks it's going well, but then, like, little things happen that turn Paul Rudd off. And so Tim Robinson comes to his door and Paul Rudd has to give him the talk about, like, this isn't working out. And this is what he says. Look, we had a couple of really nice hangs, but I think it's best that we go our separate ways. I don't wish to continue this friendship at this moment.
Right. There it is.
Wouldn't you love to say that? Wouldn't that be so? I mean, when to have the...
Very clear. Yeah. Spell it out. Next on my list is a movie called A Night Like This that was a British gay movie, and it's one of those kind of before sunrise movies with two characters kind of meeting, and they're both in, tricky places, and they connect and move throughout the night. But it has Alexander Lincoln is in it, and he was an actor that was in that gay rugby In From the Side movie, and he's great. He's really good. I just thought I thought he was handsome and I was into him, but he plays a totally different character in this movie, and he plays guitar and sings, and I'm like, oh shit, he's good at a lot of stuff. So he's like somebody that's kind of on. I got my eye on to see what he does next, but it's one of those little sleeper gay movies that I really liked. So keep an eye out for it. I think I saw it through Newfest streaming, but I bet it's out, on some canopy or something at some point soon. So did either of you see that one?
No, I didn't, but I will. That sounds great.
I liked it. Yeah. Glenn, what's next on your list?
I'm going to highlight a documentary I loved called Pee Wee as Himself.
Oh, God, yes.
2-part documentary. And just the voicemail from Beyond the Grave that Pee Wee sends to the director of the film was so heartbreaking. This is a guy who was a perfectionist, probably difficult to work with, admittedly so, and you feel that throughout the film. Yet somebody who was so in love with what he was doing, and that he was trying to control the narrative of his own life story and his own documentary. And that is what gives this film such bite. This is not a director and subject who got along famously. You feel this artist's journey in this film, and of somebody who is just desperate and wants to put out great work, and all the obstacles that got in his way. It made me really feel so much for someone who I always loved. I always loved his work, Paul Rubens' work. So this was just a beautiful documentary that I thought was going to be, very too easygoing, and it doesn't. It doesn't tread lightly.
Right. I just remember feeling for the filmmaker, because it sounds like he had a journey trying to make this happen, getting Paul to talk, and just the odyssey of making it. Drew, what did you think of that documentary? It was on HBO.
Masterpiece. Oh, truly. I've not seen a documentary like this to really capture the vibe of what it is like. Someone who to what Glenn said, was notoriously difficult and also a genius, and also a completely misunderstood, beautiful, brilliant, kind man. I met him a handful of times at the Groundlings, and I was always like gobsmacked, like, what do you say to this person who changed your life? And I, he's shaped, I didn't realize how much he'd shaped my life until I watched this film. And I watched Pee-wee's Playhouse every Saturday morning, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure was a huge deal to me, but I still didn't quite get it, how the kindred spirits, the understanding of, also, there's so much about the Groundlings in this that I didn't know, and about the theater that I didn't know. And it also, we got to see this film, episodes, whatever you call this piece, about a month after Lynn Stewart died. And Lynn Stewart was a dear friend, a beloved person who I know both of you would come to our shows, was the most supportive person, a ray of light. And so to see Lynn so alive in this film was so powerful to me as well, to just see this beautiful friend just giving so much. It was kind of like when I just watching the John Candy documentary and seeing Catherine O'Hara, it's her last thing, and just getting her talk, just seeing someone who, you don't realize that, when that this is the last we're going to get of this person. And so, for sentimental reasons, I really care about it, but also just as a film, I think it's a masterpiece.
The thing that stuck with me about it is that he had this open gay relationship when he was at the Cal Arts, and like very functional and kind of lovely and beautiful. And he made a decision to approach things differently after that. And
to go back in and feeling like he had to. And, and when so many artists and people get so vilified for that in the 80s, for being, and it's like, you're not paying attention. They didn't really have a choice at the time, or they made the decision that they made. And so, are you still going to be mad at them about that? It's not 2026 in their work, and so it's a very different thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was, the way it was depicted was beautiful, and the choice that he made is poignant.
Yes.
Drew, what's your next movie?
Next on my list is a film that I thought was really mind-blowing and so Los Angeles. I've not seen a film that I was like, this is so LA in its own specific way, is a movie called Lurker.
Oh, yeah.
That really captures the music industry, that is terrifying. It gives incredible performances, but I have been in these people's houses and this world of people's people, like the people around the artist and who owns who. And it's very all about Eve. It's like it's like a straight, sexy, all about Eve. And I was riveted the whole time. I loved this movie.
Yeah, I think Nicole Payon, who I know, was one of the producers.
Yes.
But I have not seen it. Glenn, have you seen it?
Oh, it's so great.
Oh, I love this film. And to me, the most terrifying moment, and so relatable for me, is you ever walk into a house to a party and you're introduced to everybody and they're all looking at their phones and they don't look up? That's what this movie was for me.
Yes.
Right. When he enters this world, none of his entourage want anything to do with him. They can't be bothered to even look at the guy. And then the dynamics change. But it was so instantly heartbreaking. You feel for this guy. And the guy who plays the pop star, he was in Saltburn. I remembered him.
Right. Yes, he plays. Yeah, exactly.
Adopted family member. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's fantastic.
He's so good.
He really nailed that young pop star vibe of someone who is your instant best friend, but he's going to use you and break your heart.
Right. Oof. Well, and they're all kind of awful in the movie, but you also can understand why he does what he does. I mean, it's sort of like one of those things that it's a really layered performance. I think about, I don't really want to say who, it doesn't really matter. It's not like whatever, but I remember years ago, I was in a very famous, especially at the time, musician's house, and we were doing some sort of sketch comedy thing in their house. And the amount of people that just walked through the front door, in and out, up and down, that had I was like, this could so easily happen because there's so many people working for you that like, you can have access to people. And then like the artist doesn't even know who's in their home. They don't even know who's in their kitchen. They don't know who's in their bedrooms. They don't know. And so it could be so easily that like, oh, what if one of them were just unhinged enough to be really dangerous? And it's something that, I don't think you kind of think, you're like, well, how would they even get to so-and-so's home? I'm like, it happens. It's just like, there are just so much. It's just like trying to, maintain the White House or something, when you're just like ins and outs and deliveries and, and this person's handling this, and then this person's in charge of this, and this person's nutrition, and it's just, yeah.
I need to see that for sure. It sounds like it'll remind me of different things I've experienced in LA for sure. I want to talk about Marty Supreme because I find it quite divisive. I had friends over to watch it on New Year's night, and half of them were into it, and half of them were like, "This is stressing me out. I don't like it at all." I was into it. I thought the casting was amazing. Every face was like a memorable, and I like Chalamet's performance. I like. To me, he did some crappy things, but I rooted for him. And a lot of people are like, I couldn't root for him. I could. And he's very good at ping pong. He's good at something. He worked hard at it. He worked hard and he got good at it, and nobody cares in his life. Like, either they don't take that seriously as an endeavor or something, but it's not like he doesn't have something to offer. He's really good at this thing that he's worked hard on, and he wants to take it all the way. There's a moment near the end where he experiences something that I think he maybe thought he wasn't going to ever get to. And this look comes over his face that is a split second, but I find it so moving. Like, oh my God, it happened, like moment. And I don't know. I was a fan. I liked how propulsive it was, and the different performances, the offbeat casting, the way the world looked, anything with a bowling alley. There's a movie. I like any movie with a bowling alley. It goes up a grade in my book. Oh, there's a bowling alley in that movie. That's now a B+. I just like bowling alleys in movies.
Grease 2?
Huh?
Grease 2.
I bought a ticket for Grease 2. It's coming to the American Cinematheque. I bought a ticket in Los Feliz in like March.
Oh, yeah. I want to go. I want to go too.
I'll send you the link. It's the American Cinematheque. It's I think it's a Monday night. Yeah. And it's open to anybody. Yeah. So thoughts on Marty Supreme? Because I find this one of the movies that divides people this year.
Do you want to go?
You go, Drew.
Okay. I loved Uncut Gems. I thought Uncut Gems was terrible people. It was riveting. Had a very satisfying, and it just was. It was excruciating. I don't know that I could watch it again, but I was like, that was a masterpiece. Adam Sandler was great. I hated this one. I felt like someone watched Uncut Gems and then tried to remake same vibe, yet we're supposed to like this guy. And I just really didn't. I thought he was so awful. I thought everybody in it was awful. And I love awful people, but I want the movie to know they're awful. And I felt like the movie, the final moment, I mean, not to give anything away, but had he been handed an orange ping pong ball at the end of the movie, I would have been like, okay. Yeah. But instead, what happens for him and we're supposed to redeem this person. I just feel like for me and the world we're in right now, I don't really want to watch a mediocre straight white guy just fail upwards and be awful and screw people over and then win.
Yeah.
I just was when the bathtub fell through the ceiling, I was like, oh my God. I just felt like, it just felt like hijinks to me in a way that I just couldn't get on board. I felt bad for the dog.
Yeah.
The whole time I was just like, oh, I want to get off this ride. But the performances are great. And it's like, and it's a giant swing. And I love what they do. I mean, I love how the movies they make. I'd rather they make that than, I wasn't bored, but a lot of people share your opinion. And I agree about that final scene. Like it didn't like satisfy me in a way, although he performs it well, but I didn't connect to it. Yeah, but I know what you mean by that. Glenn, what were your thoughts on Marty Supreme?
Yeah, I mean, I watched it at your house, and that was probably the third time I've seen it.
Right.
I really liked the movie, but at your house, the divisive reactions made me rethink a lot of it. There was somebody who had Drew's point of view who said, I just don't want to watch movies centering these people.
Right.
Like, I just can't watch a movie about a terrible white guy, driving everyone crazy. Like just didn't, and so I get it. I was just so entertained by it, though. It made me laugh. It made me gasp. I had a good time knowing that those flaws are there. I don't feel it earns its ending as well. I think that ending just kind of comes out of nowhere and doesn't feel earned. So Ron Bronstein, who co-wrote the Marty Supreme with Josh Safdie, he talked about his writing relationship with Josh, saying that when we write, it's combative, just like our movies. So you write what you know. And this is what we know is this relationship that is very tough, where I'll pitch something and Josh will shit all over it and vice versa. And you can kind of feel that in the bones of their films, Uncut Gems, Marty Supreme, that they're films based on anxiety. Same with Ron Bronstein's wife, Mary, who did If I Could Legs, I'd Kick You. I'm not sure I want to be at dinner with these people. They would probably
that
really
sounds rough. That sounds like a tough
Or they might be the most lovely, centered people ever because they get it all out in their movies. And then it's in person, they're just like, how are you?
That could be it. Yeah, that could be it. Drew, what's your next movie that you'd like to talk about?
My next one is, this is like, I just have to give props to this. This was not an easy feat to pull off, which is The Naked Gun.
Yeah.
I thought it was such a return to form. I was so nervous to see this because I love the originals. I thought that Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson were genuinely hilarious and perfect. It was so stupid. It was so many gags. 80 minutes with probably 120 minutes worth of gags shoved in.
Right.
It was just one thing after another. And it was, I was just so happy to go to the movies and see The Naked Gun done well. I was so afraid it was going to be like, the Return of the Pink Panther or Blues Brothers 2000, or when they're like, they try to make something so many years later and they're like, just watch the original. And I felt like they completely captured the spirit of the original. And I was, and some really smart jokes and filthy jokes that I was like, thank you.
That montage in the middle with the snowman that was like this music video was so weird. And yeah, it was great.
And it was something, and it was something about like talking about her ass, and it's like she had a bumper that would make any toilet beg for the brown. I mean, like, just are you kidding me? I was like, what? I was like, yeah.
I don't remember a lot of the things I see, but there's a scene where she like tries to scat scene.
My God. Oh my God. Yes. Great.
I love the Pamesance. I'm on board for the Pamesance.
Me too.
Glenn, thoughts on Naked Gun? Did you see it?
Oh, I don't have to say much more than that. Yeah. I loved it too.
It was good. Let's talk about Sinners. We haven't talked about Sinners yet, and I've only seen it the one time when it first came out, but I really want to see it again on the big screen before the Oscars. I just love all the things that it's doing, and it's so confident and beautiful, and everyone's good, and Michael B. Jordan. I just remember, and then it gets really sexual in a way that's like, oh, this is really sexual. And that's kind of audacious. And I love the box office story of it. I love the whole story of that movie. It felt like the team that Coogler's been working with for a long time just came up to this next level. And I'm a fan of Sinners, and I definitely want to see it again. And I feel like it's the one that could maybe beat One Battle After Another at the Oscars.
Yeah,
I feel like those are the two, and then people are like, if they're going to vote their heart, they might go Sinners. I don't know. Yeah. But what a triumph, right? And then that it was such a success as well. Thoughts?
I love it.
I've seen this.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Oh, go ahead, Drew.
I would say I've seen it twice. I love it. I think it's visually stunning, and the sound is amazing. I think Wunmi Mosaku is the star of the film. I mean, she is a revelation. I don't think I'd seen her anything before. And I was like, this woman is so great. I loved the vampire of it all. And I love where it went. Like, I think it's a movie that is both times I saw it, and I think a lot of it is just because of the accents and because they all are wearing a lot in their mouths. I was having a hard time understanding it. And I was watching it again the second time with a friend who was saying the same thing. She's like, I'm having a hard time understanding the diction in it. And a lot of it was just the accent work. And so it's a lot of talking leading up to it.
Right.
It's why, but That's a small gripe, because once it gets going, it is a ride. It is a masterpiece. I will be thrilled if it wins everything, because it's a really smart a revelation and a crowd pleaser, and so yeah.
And really Warner Brothers, props to investing in something that's original and giving it a real budget, and getting that big hit out of it. Like that makes me feel good too. Glenn, thoughts about Sinners?
I've seen it 5 times. I actually got to see it in a theater last week, where Octavia Spencer moderated a panel of the 3 Academy Award nominated actors. And it was just fantastic to see it with this packed house with the great sound. It was at the Directors Guild Theater, which is a great theater to watch in. And it blew me away. It gets richer for me each time I've seen it. And also precisely because I did have trouble with the dialogue the first couple of times. And I get more out of it each time. Like, oh, this is what they were trying to say. This is what they're saying. There's a little bit of word swallowing going on in the film for sure. And so it was beautiful. It was enriching. And to me, the scene of the movie is the mid-credits sequence with Buddy Guy playing a major character. If you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it. But him talking about what the story of the movie meant to him just moved me to tears each time. I cry each time I see that scene where it's like the spirit of Debbie Mazar comes into the movie at the end. I won't now, but I just thought that's really weird. And then it turns very touching, and I didn't expect.
Yeah.
I'm going to make another hot prediction for the Oscars. I think Delroy Lindo is going to take the Oscar.
That would be cool. I would not be mad at that.
I would be thrilled. I love him and everything. And I think that it was such a surprise nomination for people.
Yeah.
And I think that there's such excitement around that. And people are like, oh my God, this guy who's so great in the film, but it's always been great and everything forever. And I think he'll be rewarded for it.
That's interesting. I love these hot takes.
I think he's more likely to win than Kate Hudson is to win.
Interesting.
That's going to be my hot take.
All right. There you go. All right. Glenn.
When Misako came, I knew her from a horror film from like 6 years ago called His House. It's an English film that it's all about housing and the anxiety around housing in England. She's also fantastic in that. I would seek that out if I were you.
All right. What's your next movie, Glenn?
I'm going to lump together 2 musicals that I love that got no Oscar love. And one of them got 0 box office love and the other didn't. The other succeeded, which you probably guessed at this point is Wicked for Good and Kiss of the Spider-Woman. I think that we're going to be talking about the Wicked series 50 years from now when we're not going to be talking about Honora. I think that there's just great work put into these films. I don't think it's as good as the first one. It doesn't have the razzle dazzle, but I thought it got me emotionally more. I felt more emotion in it. The scene where Ariana Grande's Glinda turns on Elphaba and, drives the bus over her by saying, her sister, use her sister. Yeah. And it's just a great moment. And it was heartbreaking. And I thought she played it so beautifully. So I thought that I really was actually sad it didn't get any nominations. And Kiss of the Spider-Woman, I thought was going to be much bigger. I thought it was a vast improvement on the Hector Babenco film from the 80s. I thought that Tanatua was great, whereas William Hurt I thought was so mannered, and I don't know why he won the Oscar for that.
He's brave. He's brave, Glenn. He's a straight man who puts on a kimono.
Right. I thought this put the story in its rightful place, and I thought that there was just so much interesting. I thought J-Lo literally danced her ass off, and I thought she was magnetic. And I was very sad that it got no reception whatsoever.
Yeah, I saw it twice in the theater. I loved Tonatia. I just thought he was so moving and beautiful. And I like Diego Luna. I was really – because I thought the buzz was a little bit like the musical numbers are fun, but I'm not that into the prison stuff. I thought the prison stuff, their performances, that relationship, the way it built, I was in. So I actually saw it 3 times, once on video and twice in the theater. So, I'm definitely a fan. And it's moving to me at the end how it ends. And there were Bill Condon put these little funny Easter egg moments like where the assistant in the movie is closeted, so he doesn't play the part well. And so he makes a joke out of that, and never trust a closeted queen. Like there's these little comments about the industry and how things work that I appreciated as well. Droege, what were your thoughts on Kiss of the Spider-Woman?
I haven't seen Kiss of the Spider-Woman. I need to. I haven't seen it. But I actually weirdly liked Wicked for Good more than Wicked Part 1.
Yeah.
I'm in the minority there. Also, they're the same movie. I mean, they made them at the same time, and I think I don't love the stage show Wicked. I kind of don't think it's great, and I think the movie is a vast improvement on the stage show. I think they actually Act 1 just doesn't do it for me. It's just Harry Potter School for Girls. It's sort of like why I like Act 2 more is because it's actually about the Wizard of Oz, and it's actually its take on like, oh, this is what happened to Scarecrow and the Tin Man, and And so I was really into Wicked for Good, and and don't really understand. It just shows how fickle our industry is. That you were like vilified and tarred and feathered last year if you didn't love Wicked Part 1, if it wasn't the best movie you've ever seen, if you weren't obsessed, you were considered like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? And then this year we just ran away from the same movie.
Yeah.
A year later,
it was
the
really,
same movie.
Even the songs didn't get nominated. Those new songs.
I know. And I know that the songs are better in Act 1.
Yeah.
But like, in terms of like, it's a musical, and most musicals have the better songs in Act 1. And it was so crazy to me that we were so hot and cold in it. And I'm just like, fine on the whole franchise. I think it's very well made. And I thought they were both great. I thought Ariana Grande was fantastic, especially in Part 2, and absolutely deserved more credit. And Cynthia Erivo as well, credit than they were given, because they were both. I thought they were both really great. Not on my list as favorites of the year, but I was thoroughly into it.
My favorite moment in it was where they're on opposite sides of a door, and the way do you remember what I'm talking about? There's a door, and we see both sides of them, and it was just devastating.
Yeah.
And I liked that this big budget franchise that's probably going to be a theme park ride and going to be all of the stuff and all of the branding and all of the merch is about this love between two women, this friendship. That's what it is. Yeah. And it's big as Harry Potter and all that stuff. And that at the heart of it is this story of friendship between these two women. I loved it. So there's that. My next one, what can I talk about? I want to talk about sentimental value because I wanted to love it and I didn't.
Same.
And I remember I cut a picture out of it when it was getting all the buzz at like at the festivals. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to look forward to this movie or whatever. And then I appreciated things about it, but I feel like, like sometimes people have a drink of a drug or whatever, and it doesn't tick with you, or like, oh, I feel like I missed the potion on that movie. I admired things about it, but I didn't hook into it. So yeah, but lots of other people did. So
it was one that, I loved, The Worst Person in the World.
Yeah, me too.
Much. I mean, that was such a, like, what is this? Who are these people? What is this like world? It made Oslo look so magical and beautiful. I thought Renata, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, was like, oh my God, Rensve, I think. Rensve, yeah, really great. And so I was going into this and like, all right, here we go. And then I felt like I was almost watching like a parody, like a SCTV parody of a Scandinavian film. And I love Scandinavian films. A lot of queer Scandinavian films, the sense of humor in them can be so bleak and funny. And I just was like, I don't care about these artists like navel gazing. And I didn't hate the movie at all, but I'm really, I just am sort of surprised at all of that. And I just don't think, again, there's any passion for it. Like, I don't know anybody that's talking about it and going, oh, this movie is so amazing. It's just more like, oh yeah, they were good. It was good. I mean, I can't say it was a bad movie, but I just don't think there was anything particularly noteworthy about it.
Yeah, I didn't connect. What about you, Glenn?
I hated it when I first saw it. I concur with everything you're saying. But did you ever have a conversation with a friend after a film and they loved it and they convince you?
Yeah.
And so I went and saw it just because I respected my friend's opinion. And I ended up really liking it. I'm not crazy about this movie, but I thought it had some good, solid stuff in it. I thought the ending was really cool. I thought Elle Fanning's scene when she tells Stellan Skarsgård that she doesn't want to be in his movie, I thought was a beautifully calibrated scene. So mature, such an interesting thing, especially coming from a character who's supposed to be a superstar actress, where they usually just bail. You know, they don't have these. Right. So I thought it was really. That was a really touching scene. But yeah, I'm not going to remember this movie like I did The Worst Person in the World. I mean, it's fine. It feels like warmed over Bergman.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was really looking forward to it, and then I don't feel like I got on the ride. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up in a few minutes. So we're going to do a lightning round. So any movies that you want to get a mention in for, I'm going to look at my list and go first. F1, I just thought it was like being in an Apple store, which is white and beautiful, and then you're out.
It's so straight.
Superman, I was so moved by Superman. I loved it. I cried like when he's like talking about wanting to be a decent person or something like that in the middle of it. I loved it. Dust Bunny, Brian Fuller's movie, so cool and visual. And I know Brian a little bit. And when he said he was making this movie, you always think somebody's first movie might be small in ambition and scale, or it's talky and it's just people. And this was like set pieces and special effects and like really beautifully realized worlds. And I was like, that was really cool. Yeah, so those are some of mine. Bugonia, Emma Stone, go just be a girl in a dress. It's fine. Just like go be a La La Land, be a Crazy Stupid Love. We've got it out of our system, haven't we? I know. It's not popular to say that. I shouldn't limit her as an artist.
No, I love her. I think she's fantastic. That movie was also like, oh, are we doing the work for these conspiracy theorists? I just was like, I kind of felt like, talk about a filmmaker whose work I just loved until I just really don't anymore. Like, I don't know what he's doing anymore.
Yeah, I wasn't that into it.
Turning into a parody of himself. Like, he made some of my favorite movies 10 years ago and more, and now I'm like, oh, I'm hating everything I'm suffering through in this.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't that into it.
I did not like that.
All right. Glenn, give us some lightning round moments.
All right. Well, you just covered several of mine.
Okay, good.
I like Bugonia more than you did, only because I think it improved upon the original film, Save the Green Planet.
Okay.
But I totally get it. It is basically saying everything's fake news and don't listen to anything. And it does, shine a light on conspiracy theorists. I'm just going to stick to two. Okay. Dead Man's Wire, The Poor Man's Dog Day Afternoon, by Gus Van Sant. Finally returning to a film, very small scale film that I was thoroughly entertained by. Also one of my favorite lines of the year, which is when Bill Skarsgård is kidnapping somebody and they're out in the street and a priest tries to stop them from doing it, from kidnapping him. And Bill Skarsgård's very, grumpy character says, "Why don't you wash my ass, Father?" Just made me laugh. It was very John Waters, that line.
Right.
And also Peter Hujar's Day, which I've never seen more walking in a film that I've been to this year. People did not like this Ira Sachs movie. It's basically just two people sitting in a room with Rebecca Hall doing some of the best active listening I've seen in a film all year. And it's just somebody recounting the details of their day, and I was riveted because it was a time capsule of 1970s New York and the art scene. Not much happens in it, but it felt natural, and I just wanted to spend time with those people. And those are my two.
I like it. All right, Drew, you got some lightning round action?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on Peter Hujar's Day. I was totally in, and it's so quick. It's 70 minutes, and I thought it was just really beautiful, and I just love both of them and watching them, and more about Peter Hujar I'm all about. I agree with you on Dust Bunny, Dennis. That's also on my list. I thought it was a revelation. I was thoroughly in, and Sigourney Weaver, back to her ice cold brilliance. I was so into Dust Bunny. I loved it. A fairy tale for adults that was just a ride, and I was so happy for Brian making this movie because I was just like, this is incredible. Highly recommend it. Another movie that I really loved as well that was early last year, I had to actually double check that it was 2025, is Companion, which I found to be a really fun, really great horror movie that was just really well made and really great. And then the last on my list, I have 4 documentaries that I just want to give shout outs to. One of them is Enigma, which is Zachary Drucker's film about 2 trans women, one of whom denies being trans, Amanda Lear and April Ashley, and how it parallels their journeys. It is really incredible, and talk about someone, just The Power of Denial, What You Do for Stardom. And it's a beautiful, beautiful documentary. It's called Enigma. Cool. Another one that I loved was My Mom Jayne, about Jayne Mansfield and Mariska Hargitay exploring that. I was sobbing at the end. My jaw was on the floor. You think you know all the details about the car accident, their relationship. Oh, who is your mom? All of it. It will blow your mind.
Wow. Okay.
Another one that I loved was Strange Journey, which is about the making of Rocky Horror and how Rocky Horror started. It's a beautiful love letter. Richard O'Brien's son made the film, so it's a big tribute to his father, who also is exploring a lot of their gender identity issues. And it is, and as a Rocky Horror nerd, it's just great. It's showing how the play was developed and how the film and the world after the film and all of it. And finally, a documentary that made me absolutely explode. I was, again, a mess, is something called Come See Me in the Good Light.
Yes.
Which I just can't recommend enough. It's Apple TV. I sadly did not know anything about this poet, and I don't know her name. Andrea Arnold, is that right? Is that
sounds like it might be right?
I think that's her name. I should look that up. Before. But oh my god, yeah. It's really special. So
I saw
all
that.
of those. Yeah,
terrific. Yeah, movies. We love them. Yeah. We love to go see them. It's a good thing, and I love that we do this every year, and this is the fifth year. This is the fifth year running. Thank you guys for your opinions. I promise you that next year I'm going to know even less of the names and be more baddie. I'm literally going to turn into one of the ads
just go
from
put
Bewitched.
On a dress and smile.
Emma Stone.
It's Andrea Gibson in Come See Me.
Andrea Gibson.
Andrea Gibson.
Andrea Gibson.
Right.
Andrea Arnold's a great director.
All right.
Is the director. Okay. I was like, I knew that was wrong when I said the name, but I was like, Andrea Gibson. Okay. Thank you.
A quick shout out with Dust Bunny. The fact that Brian Fuller would manage to get clearance on an ABBA song is unheard of.
Right.
And he uses a deep track. And I was so impressed because it's really hard to get. And I love that he got it.
I love that. All right. Well, as Hillary Clinton would say, Get to work. Get to work. All right. Thanks, you guys. I love you. And thanks for doing this every year. It's the best. Thanks again to Glenn and Drew. Follow their work wherever they are. All right. So this happened. Last night, I went to Vidiots and I saw Point Break with Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. I have never seen it before. It's my friend Rebecca's one of her favorite movies. And it's directed by Catherine Bigelow. It's from 1991. And it was sold out, packed. People were into it. It's kind of a regular thing there at Vidiots, the Point Break of it all. Keanu Reeves plays an FBI agent. He's a football player turned FBI agent. He kind of goes undercover in the surfing world to try to find these bank robbers that are the dead presidents, and they go in and rob banks. Anyway, here's my takeaway. Keanu is at his most Keanu-ish. He's never been more beautiful on camera. Catherine Bigelow shoots him like it's heated rivalry without the ass. I mean, from the first shot you see him in this black t-shirt, you're just like, he is just beautiful. And his line readings are the most Keanu-y, and people are just cheering for it. Like just really dry and that sort of surfer thing, that cadence. What happens is he says one of those things, it lands, then there's a beat, then everyone laughs because it's so Keanu-y. Patrick Swayze, he is a surfer named Bodie, and he's kind of a badass, but the action scenes in this movie they hold up, man. There are two parachuting scenes, and the first one, it looks like it's over Lake Powell in Arizona. I'm not sure where it is, but there's all this wonderful water underneath them, and they're free falling and doing shit in the air, and it's really spectacular. I was like electrified by that scene. I knew there was parachuting in the movie, but I didn't know it would feel like that. And then there's a moment in the second one where Keanu does something like you can't believe, and that got a big cheer. So anyway, I can now cross Point Break off my list. Oh, you know what? Gary Busey's really good in it. He's really funny and like a nice. He plays Keanu Reeves' partner. And we also got Lori Petty with her blue eyes as the love interest. And so it was. It's a movie about aggressive dudes, man. I remember coming out of The Godfather a few years ago when it was showing it at the Academy, and I thought, oh, if they had a Toxic Masculinity Film Festival, they could show The Godfather. And then I started thinking, and I'm like, oh, wait, that's every movie. Every movie is about some dudes that can't, deal with their feelings. And so they cause conflict, and that makes a movie. And so, Point Break could be in that thing too, because there's a lot of aggression, a lot of like, I'm going to beat you up kind of stuff. And then also Keanu is he's seduced by Bodhi and his surf life. And so at the end, spoiler alert from a movie from 1991, he throws his badge on the beach. Like, is he done with being a policeman? Is he going to go to the dark side? It was like hanging with Bodhi made him feel so cool that he no longer feels like fighting bad guys. I don't know. Swayze has that kind of power. I wouldn't, just dismiss that theory. But then, anyway, I can now say I saw Point Break. All right, that's enough for this week. We'll catch you next time on Dennis Anyone.